All right, so listen, glasses coming off. And they're going away, because here's the thing, right? And I really want to expand this conversation because I know we're talking about athletes, but even when you look at ESPN, the word entertain is in that, you know. So when we look at the word entertain, the suffix tain means to hold something in place, right? You attain, sustain, maintain, right? So when I look at the word entertain, when you're entertaining, you're holding something in place and you're putting something in it, right? So as entertainers, athletes are entertainers, okay? So as entertainers, we have a responsibility as influencers. For example, right? You got certain people who have more followers on their Instagram than there are the population in some countries, with networks with more than the GDP of some countries, personal networks. Okay, so at that sense, like Beyonce is Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is Jay-Z, and all these people have created these larger organisms. I love words. Corporation, the prefix of the word corporation is corpse. So it's like we have to look at the entities that these people build up because they have a responsibility. There's a reason why Miley Cyrus gets paid more than the president of the United States. It's because when she posts something, guess what? All millions of little girls are gonna do exactly what she's talking about. So I'm like, you gotta be aware. I hate when any artists or creative be like, you know what? I'm not a role model. You shouldn't look to me to stuff. I'm like, that's just so.
Right. Thanks for the word play. Appreciate it. All right. You brought up a point about folks wanting to back up. So that flies in the face of what we said about standing up, right? Get up, stand up for your right. Now we're like, well, everybody's not equipped. Are there people who we've seen, in recent history who spoke about something they had no business speaking about?
All the time.
Kanye West.
Okay.
Oh my God.
All the time. I feel like that happens with anything that happens, anything that there's someone every day being talked about on Twitter because they said something stupid, because they didn't know what they were talking about.
All you gotta do is mind your business.
Right, and I feel like some people, especially people with the platforms and with the following, the backside of it is that they always are gonna think they're right. And they're always going to think that their opinion is valid and they're speaking facts or they're dropping gems when honestly you're not.
But if they want to say, what if what they feel what they're saying is right? Like they're like, I believe, and it's not to necessarily like clown another type of person or a group of people, but I do think that, this person may say, I think what I'm saying is right. I think I'm helping people. And they may not have the knowledge. What school? I want to get you in a conversation here. What do we say to somebody like that, right? That's a Black person who has a position and a platform and followers and influence. We want them to say, or her, or they, to say something.
I'd rather somebody stay silent if they don't know what they're talking about than speak up loud and wrong. Because then at the end of the day, we have other eyes on this, you know what I mean? And then white people like, oh, see, look, he's in line with us. He knows this, and then again, not to go back to the same dude, but Kanye is a perfect example of that. Like everything he was saying was wrong and he couldn't be more wrong. Everything, it's like somebody digging a grave and just like you get further and further down the hole.
I'm sorry.
Well, how much grace do we give someone who maybe not well?
You said, say it one more time?
How much grace do we give someone who may not be well?
Can we?
So that's one example.
So all right.
It's not necessarily, the show isn't about Kanye, but we can take a second. We can take a second to talk about it.
Well, not even
because it's a big point in our culture.
Because to me, it's not necessarily even about Kanye, right? Mm-hmm. We talk a lot about cancel culture and things like that. So you know what I'm into? Screw cancel culture. You know what I'm into? You want to know? Redemption culture. Because exactly what you just said. Grace. How much grace do we allot people? How much opportunity are we going to give someone to make things right? Because at the end of the day, aren't we all human? We all gonna mess up. So here's the thing, with Kanye, the way I see Ye, he's a savant, right? Meaning that he's like a Rain Man. Obviously, homie is socially inept. He don't get stuff. It's the same thing that allowed for him to be on national TV and be like, George Bush doesn't care about black people. You dig? You know what I'm saying? So obviously, it's the same, it's that thing though, that allowed for us to love him.
Well, right, so you bring up a really good point because some people may disagree with him right now, right? But when he got up on that stage and used a platform that had nothing to do Hurricane Katrina had a lot to do with black people.
For sure.
In terms of the mistreatment of our people down in New Orleans, right, in the surrounding area. Mm-hmm. However, he used that platform, got on a national television, millions of people, tens of millions of people watching, said, such and such doesn't care about black people. that had been something that probably had never happened at that time, especially from somebody of that stature, right? So we loved him then.
Right.
Do we still love him?
Because he believed what he said was right. And now we're like, man,